Okay, so how do we get out of jail? We just got to get out of debt, right? Well, good luck with that, right? So how we get out of jail, first of all, we've got to realize that the current financial system is operated by the Federal Reserve, right? So, thank goodness for that, right? Because who owns the Federal Reserve? No, it's not the government, right? What? It's not the government. It's not federal. It says federal right there, Stephen. I know, but it isn't. And it says reserve, but it isn't there is no reserve either. Listen, it's about as Federal Express. I know it's not called Federal Express anymore. It's called FedEx, but you get my point. It's just the same thing. It's no different, really. The Federal Reserve is 12 regional banks, not the government. They're under conservatorship to the government to run the financial system. How do they get away with calling it federal? Because they said they could. And because it gives people confidence. There is no reserve. You are the reserve. Think about it. When we had the financial crisis in 2008 and the government ran out of money, whose money? Your money. What did they do? They went to you and said, we need to borrow $650 billion to bail out the banks. If there was a reserve, wouldn't that have been the time to use it? There isn't one. You are the reserve. Yeah. I know. It gets crazier and crazier. All right, so cryptocurrency is a way for us to replace the current monetary system with a much more equitable, reliable, honest monetary system that is going to give you the power to control your finances. You are going to have sovereign wealth over your own money. And it's going to wipe out the banking system, wipe out any intermediaries in between, and we'll have peer-to-peer spending. So you'll buy something from someone, and blockchain will create the trust to ensure that that person owns what they're selling, and you're paying what you're giving without the need for a banking system. I know, that's exciting. All right, so the other thing that we need to understand is that the current beliefs about money are not true, right? So they're all made up. We live in a world of make-believe. They make you believe something and it becomes true for you, right? And so they got all these sayings that they say over and over again, right? Like time is money, right? Everybody knows that, right? No, everybody believes that, but it doesn't make it true. It isn't. Time is not money. What? Well, what is it then? It's a good question. So let's take a look at that real quick. What are time and money? Well, money is a form of energy. So we exchange energy for goods, right? And the energy that we give people for the goods they sell us is in the form of money. But it's a way to exchange energy. All right? So think of electricity, right? So neither Tesla or Edison invented electricity. What do? They learned how to harness it. And so the secret to money is learning how to harness it. But you see, the masses are taught to spend it and spend it frivolously on things that they think they need, but they really don't. Whereas the wealthy are taught to invest money, invest their energy, and get a return. You know, as Warren Buffett says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And so what does money or this energy, when you know how to harness it, give you? It gives you power. You now have a voice in the world. You see, Edison and Tesla, when they harnessed power, they were able to light up the world, right? And then they were able to monetize that power, correct? Well, with money, it's an energy that becomes a power. For example, it gives you a voice in the world. What you say will be heard. So point in case, there are 25,000 men, women, and children that die on Earth every day of starvation on a planet that has more than enough food to feed them all. Why do they die? Well, it's not because there's enough food. It's not because we don't have the resources to get them the food. They die because they don't have the voice. Because you can't hear them. And every government in the world knows that we could feed them all, but we choose not to because they have no monetary value and they can't create one. So if we feed them today, we've got to feed them when? Tomorrow. And then when? The next day. And then when? the next day. And if we feed them, we got to give them water. And if we feed them and give them water, we got to clothe them. And if we feed them, give them water, we got to clothe them, we got to house them. And if we got to house them, feed them and clothe them, we got to put shoes on their feet. You get my point? For how long? And then what starts to happen is that other people find out about this who are hardworking individuals that are enslaved in the system of debt. And they go, wait a minute, why don't I just check out like them? I get all the food, the water, the clothes, the shoes, the house that I need, and I can hang out with my friends. I'm going to check out too. You see, we have a flawed system. And not that long ago, 2021, when we had COVID, what did the government do? It just gave everybody money. Because it could do that, but it chooses not to keep people enslaved into debt. I know. And so time is not money. Never was. Think about this. First of all, can you replace money? Yes. Can you replace time? No. So how can they be the same thing? They never were. It's a nonsensical statement. But what did I say at the beginning? Beliefs are not true. We just make them up, or they're made up for us, and we're made to believe they're true. And then we see references around us that support that belief, but it doesn't make it true. Time is not money. Time is how we measure wealth. How we measure wealth is how much time can you spend without having to work and live in the lifestyle of your choosing. So if you had $60,000 and your monthly expenses were $5,000, how long could you live on that $60,000 without working? And of course the answer is 1 year. And so your wealth is 1 year. And so we want to create generational wealth, right? And so we have to value our time more than money. And that is a secret the wealthy have figured out a long time ago. They don't work hard for money. They make money work hard for them. They don't work hard for money. They make other people work hard for money. See the flip? And now with all these exponential technologies emerging at this moment, we have the opportunity not to make other people work for us, but technology to work for us. That we can start any company with any product, any service we want today. Money doesn't have to be an issue. We've got all the resources we need at the end of our fingertips. And so time is wealth, and what does wealth give us? Freedom. But you can't have freedom without a voice, without power. You say, well, I could just quit my job today and I could, live on the street. You're not free. You have to go certain places at certain times to get food. You got to go to certain places, certain times to sleep. You're not free. So power and freedom go hand in hand. So we've got to learn how to create the energy to give us a voice and have the time to enjoy it.